people, and welcome back to my channel. How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. So I have a topic for you that I know that you're going to be interested in. Now that you've shortlisted the universities that you want to go to, you gotta write a personal statement. How do you write this personal statement? How do you go about it? We're gonna discuss that today. So, before I begin, I just want to say that with personal statements, I have been writing this, I think, over the last 7 years. I've had to write personal statements for when I went into university at the University of Edinburgh as well as King's College London for my PhD, and I also work at the Careers and Employability team at King's College London, where I do help students with their personal statements, and it's something that I do on a weekly basis. I also do this in Alpha Suite. So listen, you are in safe hands, all right? So I'm going to tell you a framework that I use, that I have created, yes, and it's called the LEAD framework. Yes, the LEAD framework. Now, what the LEAD framework is going to do for you is going to help you to structure your personal statement. Most times, personal statements, it's a document that is requested by particularly UK universities, and it's similar to a cover letter, but not really. It is more focused on academic applications. And in the personal statement, there are a couple of things that they want to know from you. One, why this program? 2, why this university? 3, why you? So let's jump straight into the framework, shall we? And of course, I have my trusty little book, and the acronym starts with L. So L is for list, and you want to generally list in your introduction your career motivations or aspirations, as well as generally what are the courses or subjects that you have specialized or studied. Now, your introduction needs to be pretty short, does not need to be a very long paragraph, but what you are doing is broadly introducing the reader to who you are, why you have decided to pursue further education, and what is your general educational background. One of the things that I would say to be mindful of is when you're saying this, do not forget to indicate what is your career goal. I find a lot of times that students get into the habit of talking about their education but not talking about their destination. Not saying what was the big reason for doing all of this education. Where were you trying to land? Like, where were you trying to go? What is the job that you're trying to get? When we think about education, we're doing it to get a job. We're doing it so that we can work and do something that we love. So please be clear when you're writing your introduction. You might want to state what your career aspiration is, what is your educational background, and why are you deciding to further your education. Keep it brief, keep it general, because the next couple of acronyms is where we go into the detail. Now we go to E, and E is to evidence your academic merit and experience. And usually that is done in your second and your third paragraph. Now, you would have broadly said in your introduction what your career aspiration is and what are the subjects that you've done. In your second and third paragraphs, you're going to evidence this by clearly stating what are some of the modules that you have taken that lay a solid foundation for you picking up this program or developing your education further. How the experience that you had before is related to the courses that you are applying to do. Look for commonalities, look for differences, talk about the fact that this is something that you've always been interested, or this is something that you have foundational knowledge in and you've gotten great grades in it, or talk about the fact that it's intellectually challenging and you like a challenge, but really show that there is connection and synergy between your educational background and the courses that you are picking up. So we move on to A, and this is the third acronym of the LEAD framework. A represents you evidencing your actual personal or professional experience. Yes, people, actual personal or professional experience. So what you would have done before is you would have evidenced your academic merit. What A is asking you to do is give actual personal examples of how you have used your education in a practical scenario. So for instance, let's say that you would have done an internship when you were studying, and your internship touched on a particular module that you studied. Let's say one of the modules you studied was management, and you did a management internship. You might want to use 2 paragraphs to give some actual evidence and experience of times in which you have applied your academic knowledge in a practical or experiential setting. What that really does for the recruiter is lets the recruiter understand that you are somebody that understands how to apply your knowledge and how to apply theory into a practical setting. It also lets the recruiter know that you are proactive, you are resourceful, you are passionate about the field that you want to study in, and you are somebody that is going to use your education. You're not just going to get an education, get a certificate, and that's it. You're actually going to find ways to use it. So A is for actual personal and professional experiences, and that is what you will list. And finally, we have come to the last letter in the acronym, and that is D. And D stands for directly stating why you have chosen this university. And this is where you gotta get a little bit more persuasive with your writing, and you really have to stroke the ego of the university. And I think that is the part that students forget, especially when you're writing your personal statement. You have to put yourself in the mind of the university. The university is a business, right? And they want to ensure that you are a student that will succeed in their program, because once you succeed, they succeed. And they also want to ensure that you're somebody that understands their culture. For instance, Oxford culture might be very different from a UCL culture, or an Imperial culture might be very different from a King's College London culture. So they want to know that you really understand who they are and how they do things, and that you've made an informed decision. And this is all about ensuring that you're fit as well. So don't just give them the things that you can find on their website. I would say look into their societies, talk about their alumni, you know, any of their alumni that has been really successful. Check out their Twitter posts and see what they've been posting about. Check out their social media platforms and see how they're presenting themselves. That can really help you to talk more about the university beyond a generic standpoint, and can really get you ahead of the competition. So beautiful people, that was my tips for you on how to write a stellar personal statement. As I said, we're using the LEAD framework, and the LEAD framework is what is really going to get you in that door and ensure that you write a persuasive and stellar personal statement that demonstrates that I have the knowledge, I have the personality, and I am a great fit for your university. So happy writing, good luck with it, and I will see you in my next video. Go bravely, everyone. Mwah. Bye.